Whether it's anecdotal horror stories or individual customers online complaining they're the loudest of the group, Tesla oftentimes has a reputation that their cars just fall right apart, nothing aligns, everything rattles. Does that actually match reality? Has Tesla build quality significantly improved over time? Are they building cars up to the quality of any other manufacturer? Let's find out. All right, coming over here to the door panel on the passenger front, that looks really good to me. Yep, no issues there. Looks really nice. If you come and you look in the middle here, yep, looks beautiful. No issues whatsoever there. And looking at the rear passenger door, yep, looks excellent. And I will say the door handles on this car are also around the same flushness all the way around. So Tesla did a really good job with the door panels. Okay, nothing to complain about there. All right, you can sort of see that line as it goes up. Let's see if it's the same on the other side. And it looks like that it is. So the hatch on this particular Model Y was put together really well. And I would say that on both sides here, the amount of black that you can see in the gap is roughly the same. Now moving over here to the driver's side, we can see that this back door looks great. The driver's side door looks really good. And again, the door handles are flush on both. And then one more gap right here in the front. Looks pretty good. One other call out I will make on the Model Y is the paint quality. And the paint on Teslas has always gotten a bad reputation for being a little thin and getting scratched easily. I would say this car is no exception. It may be hard to sort of see in the light. It looks like maybe this owner has taken this car through a drive-through with some brushes. You don't want to take Model Ys or any Tesla through a drive-through where they're using brushes to clean your car, because it's going to leave a bunch of scratches that need to be polished out over time. And looking at the glass up here, I'm just rubbing my finger across. Yep, the glass is set in really nicely. If you look up there, I don't see a single gap. Yep, this glass looks perfect. It's the same all the way across. No issues there. Just rubbing my finger up top of the glass here. That feels perfect. And you can see in the front here, that goes across the top just as it's supposed to. So the only exterior issue that I noticed on the Model Y is just the front trunk hood, where this side, you can kind of see just a little thick. And if you rub your finger along here, it kind of goes in and out of different spots. Just doesn't quite line up the way that it should. So overall, from that perspective, they just need to get a front trunk alignment on this vehicle. And I would say they did a pretty good job with the exterior. Nothing to complain about here. Now let's move on to the interior of the Model Y, where I'm not quite as happy with the build quality. Before we call out a few things I'm not super happy about, I do want to note that Tesla has improved the cabin of the Model 3, Model Y, and recently S and X greatly, and overall I'm really happy with the interiors of Tesla vehicles because I just love the minimalism, I love the soft touch materials everywhere, and in particular this car, they've updated the center console, added more soft touch materials to the side of the center console with some stitching, so I think Tesla's going in the right direction with all of their interiors, and just up front I want to say I'm extremely happy with the design and the choices they made in here. And obviously, they're going to continue to improve this. But there are a few things I want to talk about. If you look at the underside of the dash here, you can see that the gap starting from this side going over starts to increase. And actually, this silver part right here overhangs on this side where it doesn't overhang and it meets perfectly on this side. So there's an issue with the alignment of the silver piece right here at the start of the dash. And if you look down here on this side, that same misalignment happens here where it's overhanging here, and as you rub your finger along it starts to connect correctly. So this lower dash is not correctly placed underneath this silver trim here. And over here on this side where the glove box is, I had this exact same issue on my Model 3 that they were able to correct. But for some reason Tesla seems to have a hard time lining their glove boxes up with the silver trim. So as I rub my finger along here, I don't know how visible it is, we're talking a couple millimeters, but as I get to this side, I can pretty much stick my whole finger up in here. This trim is sticking out more than the glove box on this side. As you go down, the glove box sticks out more than this side. So the glove box on this Model Y is misaligned. Now on to the most egregious issue with the interior of the Model Y is this B-pillar trim. So if you look at this B-pillar trim, it's already coming apart going down the door here. I actually had this same issue on my Model 3 where this came apart twice and had to be put back on there. So I can't really tell if something is broken inside of here or if they just didn't put it on there correctly. They can fix this, but I will say that I just think overall in general, the design of these pillars are pretty weak. They're just little plastic pieces that stick in there. And given that I had two come apart on the same side in 1 year, I'm thinking that the design of the pillars here is not optimal. They could probably do something to make this more sturdy. And my final complaint here is you can see the trim on the B-pillar on the passenger side is also coming apart at the top. I do think these B-pillars need to be constructed in a different way that makes them a little bit more durable, but I am happy to report that the A-pillars don't have any overlap or bulges sticking out. As I mentioned previously, I think Tesla has made a ton of improvements to the interiors of their vehicles, and in this Model Y, with the soft touch materials they've added, the new center console, the removal of gloss black, and overall there weren't a ton of rattles or anything like that. I just think that Tesla's really close to building a very high quality car. They just have a few consistency things that they need to get corrected. But with that, thank you so much for watching this video. Please